This is an important video for a lot of people that are new to owning a pool, and even for some people that have had a pool for a few years. I'm a member of Above Ground Pool Group on Facebook, and the number one complaint I see is people complaining about opening their pools and it's green. Whether you have a hard-sided pool or a soft-sided pool, if you're new or even if you have experience, here's some important steps you can take to try to get your pool cleaned up if it's green or if the water is cloudy. Number one, ask family and friends that have pools what they do to clear up their pools in that situation. The next step you need to take, check out your filter system. Do you have a sand filter? Do you have a cartridge filter? Do you have a diatomaceous earth filter? Do you have the cheap little aquarium pump filter that comes with some of these pools? This one here came with an aquarium style filter and it was junk. So I didn't even put that on there. I sold it the day I put the pool up. I put the Hayward sand filter and pump on this pool, and it was used on my previous pool for 3 seasons and a few years by the previous owners. And then I have a through-the-wall skimmer that we installed on here. I mean, everybody's different on how you run your pool, but one thing that concerns me is I see people saying, oh, I added 4 or 5 bags of shock. I added 4 gallons of chlorine. Another thing you have to consider, how big is your pool? My pool is just a little over 8,000 gallons of water. So if I add chemicals to it, I have to take into consideration how much water is in here and add the appropriate amount instead of overdoing. A lot of people are just dumping it in and hoping for the best. Some of those chemicals should not be mixed, and if they are mixed, can cause chemical burns, can cause skin issues and irritation. Another thing is somebody said they mixed Baclofen and chlorine. That can cause a slime in your pool. There's a lot of things that can happen if you do not take the time to research the chemicals. So whether you're adding liquid chlorine tablets, whatever you use, whether it's a saltwater pool, you still need to be careful and research how much to add. If you do get your water tested by the pool stores, make sure you've got it recommended from somebody that has had good experiences with that company, because some of them do not have a good reputation, and unfortunately some of them do not have experienced people working there that can truly help you with your situation. So you do need to be aware of that when you go to get your water tested. But if your pool is green or cloudy, do the research. It definitely pays. In this, since I've opened it, and I used a winterizing kit last year, and this opened crystal clear. I dumped a bunch of stuff from the cover in it and then had to clean it, but it never did go green. I use chlorine tablets because they don't absorb as fast out of the water and they're more economical. I have 3 over there in my floater, and I replace it as soon as they get into tiny slivers. I replace them. I do test my water, not daily. The only issue I have is I have hard water here, so that will show up on my test strip. But everything else usually checks out okay. And remember, test strips, don't freak out if something's a little high or a little bit off, but pay attention to the water. If it's cloudy, if it's green, you probably don't want anybody swimming in it because they can get swimmer's ear, they can get other problems. But you definitely do want to take time to find out how big your pool is, how many gallons of water does it hold, how much of a chemical do you need to add, and then, don't dump in more if it doesn't solve the problem right away. Run your pump and filter for a while first. See what happens with that. Give it 24 hours, maybe even a couple days, and see if your water starts to clear up. And there is stuff you can buy. It's called flocculant to get your stuff to solidify so you can vacuum it up. But then if you do vacuum up a large amount of that stuff, you will need to backwash your filter. And on these, I'm not going to do it right now to show you, but on this, I would have to put this down to backwash. I usually do it until the water shows clear coming out of the hose here. And then I do it on rinse for about 10 seconds, and then I put it back to filter. Every filter is a little bit different. Look up your directions. If you don't have them, you can usually find it online or ask somebody that is a friend or neighbor or get advice from a reputable pool store. But don't just dump the chemicals in there. I think that's a big mistake a lot of people are making. Plus, that can also ruin your liner. So Be careful, pay attention. I hope everybody stays safe, but I thought this was an important video. Best of luck to everybody to have a great pool season.